Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Wisdom Wednesday broadcast with myself, Temper Robin. And today we are going to be talking about HR trends with a very special guest in the studio with us, Jonathan Muronda. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So, Jonathan, we've got a couple of questions for you today.
Awesome.
Hoping to shed some light on these HR trends. So, first question is, what HR trends are currently happening in the workplace that are impacting HR practitioners, employers, and employees?
Well, thank you so much for that question, and thank you for having me. Well, the most important thing that we need to be looking at, firstly, is that because of what has happened recently, we're looking at the pandemic. That has really led to a lot of changes in the HR field. Okay, specifically, there's now a move towards the digital platforms.
Yes.
Yes, so that is trending. That's number one thing. And there's these collaborative platforms as well in HR, is because you are now able to monitor work remotely. That has become one of the most trending activities in HR. Because you're no longer just interested in seeing people at work.
Yeah.
You now want to be able to see how much work they're doing, and you need to be doing that remotely as well. So there's also this development of something called people analytics. I know we have heard of data analytics, but we are trying to merge the gap now between the productivity of the employee as well as what the HR or the management objectives are. So yes. Those are the current trends.
You touched on the people analytics,
yes,
which is obviously a very hot topic right now.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not, it is. So what are the applications of people analytics software, and where and how will it impact organizations and the workforce?
Absolutely. The reason we have this emerging in recent times is because of the fact that organizations are seeing increasingly the value of maintaining the employee. You want to establish employee loyalty. So in order to be able to do that, you're not just going to do that to every employee. You're trying to pick, the talent and try to retain them. So what you need to do is to come up with some actual data, information that you're going to use in decision making. And that information comes now from how you're going to collect data, how you're going to maintain the data, how you're going to use the data in decision making. So what is happening now, especially, that is something interesting. You're no longer just analyzing a person based on their qualifications, their experience. You're not coming in to look into their productivity. So there's now an increase in the analysis towards production versus the employee. So yeah, that's the whole essence of.
So you used to walk in with a piece of paper. Now
it's just digital. It's something else.
A whole nother ball game.
Yes.
So our next question is: in the modern world of work, HR managers are becoming talent managers.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you take us through the process of attracting, hiring, developing employees to be more engaged in their work, and then also to be more productive?
Back then, it's no longer business as usual. Back then, we used to just look at production and productivity. That's what most organizations would look at. And that's it. But it's no longer like that. You now want to, because you're now recognizing the value of talent. So managers are now really worried about where they can source the talent. And the brand of the organization is starting to matter more this time. Because you see, the best brand attracts the best talent.
Right.
So that's basically what's happening. So it's no longer just something that is that you look at in a narrow perspective. It's no longer something micro. It's now a global thing, where in order for you to attract the best people in the organization, for instance, you need to create the best brand for yourself, best name for yourself, how people perceive you. So yeah, it's a broad concept. It's not just a part of the HR activities. It's now, it merges into all these aspects of HR management. So when you look at that talent management, you begin to notice that at the recruiting stage, what is involved? It's no longer just the qualifications, it's no longer the experience, it's no longer even the referrals only. You're now looking at the brand. Secondly, you're looking at what people see the organization as. And thirdly, you're now looking at what do you do to maintain that talent within the system. And fourthly, that's the referral I mentioned earlier, referral, talent seeks or searches for talent. So you're using the talent that you already have in your organization to attract more talent. So that's basically what talent management allows organizations to be able to, to remain productive and successful.
Wow, the game has changed.
Absolutely.
It's not even changed, it's still changing.
It's still changing, exactly. Yeah, that's how the future holds.
So let's take a look at our next question. It says, with more and more organizations going remote, what advice do you have for managers in managing remote workers and practices that they can use to more efficiently monitor the remote workers?
All right. So far, if you see the development of the digital platforms that are coming up, you talk of the collaborative platforms like Teams, for instance, the changes that we see in Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and all these. They are designed now to make the worker feel or the employee feel as if they are part of a whole. They are not just part of, separate from the entire thing. It's no longer them and us kind of thing.
Yes.
They are part of the team. So one of the trends is the team development over time, because you're beginning to realize that the most successful organizations are those that collaborate the ideas from the employees. So it's no longer about us to them giving instruction. It's no longer just a top-down kind of thing. So it's now a bottom-up approach as well to try to meet in the middle.
Yes.
So that's what the digital platforms are trying to help out, to ensure, that we're able to get ideas from the employees as well, because it's no longer the case these days that the guys at the top know it all. It's no longer like that. Information is coming from all sides.
Yeah.
And the best information is the one that comes from all angles, because you're now able to make informed decisions to better the prospects of the organization.
I like that thinking, and I think it's promising for all future employees is to know that the top level management is looking for ways to make sure that you're heard and include your decisions and ideas in growing the business. So as a last question and a parting question, what advice do you have for aspiring HR practitioners?
First of all, you snooze, you lose. You gotta embrace the future. You gotta embrace the future, because everything is going digital, everything is changing. Although the company objectives or goals of organizations remain the same, have remained the same, you still want businesses to grow in terms of productivity. You still want businesses to maintain customer loyalty. You still want businesses to increase in terms of the investments that come through to them. You see, the objectives remain the same, but the how part is changing, and it's changing fast.
Yeah.
So the advice is embrace change.
Embrace change. That's some fantastic advice. Well, there we have it. The goal is to embrace the future. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And I think we learned a lot. So we're going to wrap that up for another episode of the Wisdom Wednesday broadcast. My name is Temper Robin, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Hey, you. Hey, yeah, you. Don't miss the next episode of the Wisdom Wednesday Newsish broadcast. Give this video a like and subscribe to CTU Training Solutions YouTube channel. And if you want to apply for any of our programs and courses, click the link in the video description below. Down there. It's down somewhere there. You guys know where to find it.